In the upcoming elections, the Australian people have an historic opportunity to strike a blow for the good. You can help deliver a shock to the establishment that they'll never forget. I'm Robert Barwick, Citizens Party Senate candidate for Victoria. With elections approaching, my request is for you to contribute to the Citizens Party today. I'll tell you more about that in a minute. But first, a few words about the fight we're leading. Australia's biggest problem is that a financial oligarchy has a stranglehold over so many of our elected politicians that in effect, we don't really even have a government. Instead, we have a bunch of bankers' puppets doing what the bankers want, and everyday Aussies be damned. We in the Citizens Party have always felt Australians deserve better. The big four banks believe in a rigged banking market, a cartel, in which there's no actual banking competition, so they can do whatever they want. They feel they're entitled to gamble with other people's money, and whenever they get in trouble, the government will bail them out. You might call it bankers' socialism. We believe in a regulated market economy in which healthy competition keeps the players honest. But what can provide sufficient, robust competition to such powerful players as the big four banks? The answer is a government-created and owned postal bank. For the last 5 years, the Citizens Party has campaigned relentlessly for this idea. We mobilised tens of thousands of Australians to phone and write their elected members of parliament, protesting bank branch closures and calling for the creation of the postal bank. The Citizens Party held demonstrations around the country to put the spotlight on the unjust shutdown of bank branches. We've gathered more than 50,000 signatures on a petition calling for the creation of a postal bank. The big four Australian banks are among the most profitable in the world, but it's not good enough for them. They want to maximise their profit, and they couldn't care less if their customers have to drive hundreds of kilometres to do their banking. Many towns have lost their last bank, and their very existence is threatened. In contrast, a postal bank would provide easy access to banking for everyone because there are still post offices in most communities around the country. Only the fear of losing their customers can revive a healthy respect for the people among the disdainful big four bankers. Only real competition with a public bank will be a powerful enough incentive to get these arrogant bankers to behave themselves. Let's have a healthy competition over who can provide the best and the most service to the public. I'm proud to report that because of our work, in parallel with the efforts of the small business licensees who run most post offices, the major parties have taken notice. Numerous federal politicians have recently voiced their support for the idea of a postal bank. Unfortunately, all too often we've seen how politicians from the major parties will talk a good game, especially before an election, and then no sooner are they elected, they go right back to licking the hand that feeds them. Experience has shown we can't rely on the major parties for real improvement. If you want to have an impact this election, if you want to really shake things up, if you think it's time to send a message to Canberra that you're fed up, and if you want to give the political class a shock like an electric cattle prod, then support the Citizens Party. Our party needs your financial support, and we're in an urgent countdown to the election. We have more than 30 candidates running nationwide, including in every state and territory. Our goal is to raise $5 million by the time of the election. That will enable us to get the message out in as many ways as possible. It only takes 10,000 people giving $500 to amount to $5 million. With that kind of support, the Citizens Party can shake the establishment to its very foundations. Any amount you can give is a great help. Up to $1,500 is tax deductible. Please, contribute as much as you can today.
Spoken and authorised by Robert Barwick, Citizens Party, Melbourne.